According to a massive new report from CNN, it looks like Sidney Powell is not out of the woods yet with Special Prosecutor Jack Smith's ongoing investigation. It's important to keep in mind that even though Jack Smith has already brought charges against Donald Trump, there were still 6 unindicted co-conspirators listed in that indictment, and based on, extrapolation of data, we can pretty much determine that Sidney Powell was one of those people. I believe she was number 5. I could be wrong. But anyway, she was one of them. And Jack Smith's grand jury has not adjourned yet. In fact, they're actually still hearing from witnesses. Now, the grand jury will dissolve on September 15th. So we've only got, today's 6, 9 more days. If at that point Jack Smith is not done, it can be reauthorized and extended. But as it stands right now, he has not filed for an extension. With 9 days left to go, you would think he would know, hey, wait, I'm going to need more time. So since he hasn't done that, it does look at the moment like that grand jury is going to officially adjourn on September 15th. So between now and then, we may be getting more indicted co-conspirators. And as the report said, as I mentioned, Sidney Powell appears to be at the top of that list. Recently, witnesses who have testified in front of that grand jury and their lawyers have confirmed that Jack Smith has started asking a lot of questions about what exactly Sidney Powell was doing. Tell me what you know, witnesses like Bernie Carrick, by the way. Tell me what you know about her group Defending the Republic. That was the nonprofit group that she's been using to raise a ton of money. Do you know if Defending the Republic has been out there funding all of these efforts to access voting machines illegally? Because we know that voting machines were illegally accessed in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Arizona, and of course, Georgia. Now, Sidney Powell claims that she had nothing to do with that Georgia voting data breach. Although she does admit that her group actually paid for the people to go down there and do it. But so I don't know how she's like, I had nothing to do with it. All I did was find the people, pay them, and make them go do it. Okay. But apparently Jack Smith thinks there's more. As I said, you got a total of 4 states, including Georgia, where she's already been indicted, where voting machines were breached. And based on the available evidence to the public, Sidney Powell's group Defending the Republic may have paid for those voting machine breaches. Now, as I've said, we've got multiple witnesses that have confirmed that Jack Smith is specifically asking about Sidney Powell, asking about the voting machine breaches in Michigan, Arizona, and Pennsylvania. He's spoken with the Secretary of State of Michigan. He's spoken with high-ranking officials in these states. He has spoken with witnesses. He has talked to everybody about where the money went, how she raised the money, who the money was spent for. He's got some receipts, by the way, of transactions. So, kind of seems like Sidney Powell's probably going to be hit with another indictment very soon. And of course, we can't forget the fact that Jack Smith has also been asking a lot of these witnesses about Donald Trump's fundraising. He raised all this money saying he was going to fight the election, and then he didn't use any of that money to fight the election. So, was he lying? Did he dupe? Is there any kind of fraud there? It's election law, so I don't know that that's a good path to go down, by the way, because there's so many gray areas with election fundraising, in terms of raising money by telling them one thing but then doing another thing with it. If you were doing that for a business, that's 100% fraud. But with election law, hey, you're just talking about campaign promises that may or may not be upheld. So I don't think Jack Smith's going to go down that route because I don't think you would get a successful conviction on it. Sidney Powell, on the other hand, needs to make sure that Defending the Republic still has a couple $1 million on hand. Last we checked, it had about $16 million, because it looks like she's going to need to hire some pretty good lawyers, because if these reports are accurate, I think it's a pretty good assumption that she's probably going to be hit with criminal charges, more criminal charges, possibly within the next week. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0 per day, you can subscribe to the Fair and Balanced YouTube channel. We also encourage you to like, comment, and share, but again, click that subscribe button and help Aspen not be so grumpy.